gets high pitched. Daddy up in bed. Daddy up in bed, boy. Oh, daddy. Oh, daddy. Daddy up in bed. Oh, come on, if you're not gonna play, there's no fun.
What's up, Jabroni Steven here, and welcome back to yet another reaction. Today we're hopping into Scrubs episode number 14, I believe. It's called The Balancing Act. I'm guessing, based on the thumbnail, it's going to be JD having to balance work with dating. That's my guess. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the series. If you have, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Head over to Patreon for the full, uncut, unedited reaction. You can get episodes extra early over there. By the time you're seeing them over here, there should be several episodes ahead on Patreon. Link in the description over there if you want it. You can get episodes for $1 over there. On the day that they drop on YouTube, you get the full uncut, unedited reactions over there for $1. So $1 gets you in the door. If you want to upgrade, it's totally up to you. But yeah, we're gonna get started. Hopefully have a good time with the episode. Pretty much here.
In your face! Woo!
That's
That night we went out on our first
wow,
date.
she's like really cute.
At our first dinner.
And he didn't even eat, he just stared at her.
Oh, it's Cox. He wants me back at the hospital.
But the page is addressed to Lillian.
Yeah, that's me.
Why, I am not going to call you by your names. Instead, I'll be referring to you by whatever distinguishing physical characteristic occurs to me first. Okay, you, chicken beak. What causes pneumonia presenting
Chicken
with
beak?
diarrhea?
I am so sorry.
Sorry, what in the hell are you sorry about?
Well, it's just Dr. Kelso always yells at us when we don't know the answer.
Oh,
And
children. You can't let that bloated bag of hate affect you like that. Doug. Listen to me carefully. Kelso can't do a damn thing.
I literally,
Answer
he
a
started to
question.
cry as soon as he
Doesn't
looked at him.
work that way.
Damn, all right.
I'm so sorry. That has never happened to me before.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Man, she's beautiful. I wish I was that piece of bacon.
Are you not staring at me while I'm eating? I hate it.
But I'm not. I was
What am I doing right now?
eating,
What are you doing?
staring.
Okay.
Oh.
There.
What?
Now no one gets to eat it.
What the
Happy?
fuck?
Not really.
Ends.
Well, how does a date with you end?
It can range from a kiss at the door to all I have for breakfast is yogurt and I'm out of bowls, so you'll have to eat off my stomach.
If you hear hoofbeats, you just go ahead and think horsies, not zebras. Okay, Mr. Silly Bear?
porque con el primer hombre que yo amo, este pobre me tiene que estar corriendo a mí ahora. Yo no entiendo.
Let's just say my horse didn't finish the race. I mean, I'm at the filling station, but my credit card gets declined. I gotta talk to him about sex!
Hey, bro.
Let's get our talk on. Player to player.
Oh shit.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Win some, lose some.
In fact, nothing he did seemed to scare us. The most horrible thing he could think of.
Oh my Jesus.
All right, welcome to the
Hey, Carrot Top.
No, really, sit down. All right.
Talk to me.
Yeah,
All
you're
right,
not annoying.
Fine.
These things happen occasionally. Try constantly. But I have cold hands.
So when I saw you in the hall this
I was unable to have
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah.
To be certain I can handle this. You're off anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, whatever, I'm with you.
Fair enough. Let's go treat the patient.
No, you forgot.
I am so on top of things tonight, it's scary.
You forgot. You moron. He got so excited about impressing Cox that he freaking
Hell yeah.
forgot about her. Oh, this is gonna be bad.
You're only 80 minutes late. She'll still be here. Please be here. Come on, Alex. Please be
If
here.
she's here,
Please
she's gonna be
here.
pissed off. Oh my Jesus.
Still not seeing what the problem is.
He was like, as long as I get mine.
Had an orgasm.
But you haven't dropped me to the mat. Kind of waiting for the roundhouse here, the old haymaker, when the yelling starts and the voice gets high pitched. Daddy, I've been bad. Daddy, I've been a bad boy. Oh, Daddy. Oh, Daddy. Daddy, I've been bad. Oh, come on, if you're not gonna play, there's no fun.
Look, JD.
Look, JD, we're still great, right?
No, we're not.
I think you're a really good guy, okay? But
Alex, don't me.
The stupid pissant.
Well, you know what?
shit.
That means a lot coming from you, Mr. Right here with me 2 hours after his shift also, and last Monday night too, guy.
What?
You heard me.
Lee, what are you saying? That you want to be like me?
Oh shit.
Understand that I just barely want to be like me.
Oh my god, what? He's being real? There's no, where's the punchline, Cox? Oh my god, no punchline.
Carla. Nope. Not
Damn.
even by yourself? Gross.
What? You said gross.
Is it easy?
I don't think so. Excuse me.
Oh my god, even the lawyer's not
No,
scared
Bob.
of him.
I have my own things I need to take care of. You are a wonderful person, and I love you.
I don't want anything else. And now I meet you. Look, what I'm trying to say is I'll do anything in the world if you give me a second chance.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Okay.
Awkward.
Leave you guys alone.
While you're in the bathroom, you slip and fall, and I can't afford the funeral costs.
Damn.
Okay, that's a little scary.
I guess I just need to know you think about that stuff too.
Carla? Oh. No, I don't.
Now, ladies and germs, I guarantee you that if you get this shorthand
He's gonna help
down,
out.
it has a way of making your day go just a little bit quicker. Kids ask me the questions, and I'll just give you the answers. What do you say?
Dr. Cox, could I talk to you?
Well, sure you can, Bob, but you're going to have to go ahead and raise your hand like all the other children.
Oh my Jesus.
think it's inappropriate.
Bobo? Now, you've got 5 good ones right there. What do you say you put them up in the air like you just don't care?
Get over here, right now.
Or sometimes
Holy
just balance.
She's very pretty though. Maybe not. All right. Another really solid episode of Scrubs. Well, I said this episode was episode 14. This is actually episode 13. I was way off. So I enjoyed the episode. The best moment for me in the episode, I mean, there was a lot of chuckle, laugh moments, but the best actual moment was the one we didn't really dive into with Cox about, he's like the whole, I barely want to be me or be around me or whatever he says. Like, that's crazy. I wanted to know more about that. As for the sex stuff with Turk and this girl, I didn't really care too much about it. It wasn't that funny. It did bring up some interesting issues about, when you say I love you and having to deal with the relationship and all that. And then Dr. Cox and Kelso and that whole dynamic and that. But it was really this here story with JD, and he called her Alex, and their whole situation, and when he got back to Cox and how he responded to it. I thought that was the best aspect of the episode for me. But let's go through the episode. Maybe I might have missed something. The episode starts off with him just looking at her because she's absolutely cute as a button, and he just keeps looking at her, But it gets to this thing where he's like, but all of our dates end the same way. And you're thinking it's going to go, oh, the sex, and oh no, where it's super busy and he can't be around it. He has to leave. And she's mad. Then we have Dr. Cox here on rounds. Was this supposed to be poop? Not sure what this was. Like shitting bricks, maybe. But Dr. Cox is doing rounds. He's asking all them questions. I thought the whole thing about, I'm going to call you by whatever the first thing I think of is. But he responds in a very not Dr. Cox kind of way. It's okay if you get things wrong. You just gotta make sure. He said 90% of what we do is trying to figure out what's right, like what the right answer is, or something along those lines. Which I'm like, well, that's not very Dr. Cox. Like he's giving actual good, like he's giving actual. He always gives good advice, but he's giving it without sarcasm. We have this whole situation, the I love you. They try to have sex. It throws a wrench in the thing where they couldn't get off, one of them. And you do assume it's him because that's usually what the story or the stereotype is with like when this happens. But it was actually her. Interesting when it comes out later. Then we have this weird thing with the janitor. I actually thought this was fucking crazy. Like, this is way out there. He throws orange juice on his food and says, "Great, now nobody gets to eat it." Then we have this, the whole date. They make a set time. But JD, the entire episode, is trying to figure out what's wrong with this guy. And then Elliot and her are having a whole situation where Elliot wants her to confide in her and like tell her some things about like, I can be your friend, all this interesting stuff. We then get this guy showing up, and this was an interesting interaction where Turk's talking about it, and when we get the whole thing later where he's like, yeah, she's not having an orgasm. He's like, I don't understand the problem. So that's interesting. Then we have this thing with Dr. Kelso, where none of the interns, or not interns, what are they? Residents. Oh, is that right? What do they call these guys? I forgot what they were. None of the young new people, I can't remember what they're called, but none of them fear him anymore because of what Dr. Cox said about, it's okay if you get them wrong. It's about finding the right answer. We have more of this. We get the reveal. We find out Elliot's never had an orgasm, which is crazy. We then get JD figuring out what is wrong with the patient. He gets so excited about working with Dr. Cox, figuring it out, that he bails on his date. Then he shows up mega times to the girl, tries to get her to him, try to see if she could forgive him. We get a broken Kelso. Interesting to see that without fear, he's a broken man. Like he needs the kids to fear him, because if not, he's just broken. It's an interesting concept, right? Let's see. She doesn't forgive. She reminds me of somebody in like a modern show. I don't know who though. Then we get the big reveal here where he tries to explain. He tells her about the whole date thing, and Cox makes comedy remarks, but then he says that he forgot about the date, and he's like, "No, you kept looking at your watch, but." What did he say here?
Pissant. Well, you know what? That means a lot coming from you, Mr. Right Here With Me.
It never occurred to me that you were choosing work over being with that sweet little biscuit.
Also, and last Monday night, too.
Here we go. This part right here. I thought was a really...
What? You heard me. I mean, what are you saying? That you want to be like me?
Like what?
You understand that I just barely want to be like me.
What? Like that gives you like the tears in the eyes, and it digs deep into him as a character where you're like, what? I thought that was going to be like a punchline or a comedy, but it just hit you with the real. Like, you understand that I barely want to be like me? Just, damn. If it would have hit me with that more, like in this episode where we dug into this, or even dug into JD kind of like trying to figure out about what Cox meant here, that would have been something. But it didn't dive into it. It kind of just played it there and moved on from it. But that was like a genuinely good moment. Even then, we have the thing with the lawyer. We have an awkward moment where JD tries to get her to take him back. She opens up about all the stress she's having about the future and all this thing, and then Turk is saying like that he thinks about the now, you think about the future, and that's where we work kind of situation, making her feel better. They end up having sex, which will be later. Then we have this thing, Dr. Cox actually helping Kelso, which he hates Kelso, so him helping, but the whole raise your hand and doing this whole thing, I thought that was interesting because like what did JD said? Like JD said, I don't know if it's that he hated rounds or if he felt sorry for Kelso, but he did it for him. And then Kelso's back. All the kids fear him again. We have this thing, and then you see him. This is his job. He saves people and then he just has no life. Then you have literally the next scene is JD in the same situation. But since he did the thing earlier, the girl shows up and they have a nice little picnic. And yeah, didn't Elliot do something? Elliot did the washing machine thing, whenever that was. Yep, there she goes. Orgasms on the washing machine. We have Carla orgasming here. And that's the episode. Like I said, a pretty solidly good episode. I enjoyed most of it, but I felt like it could have taken a dive into the Cox situation or even JD trying to figure out that stuff, and it didn't. It went back to the can orgasm and, you know, that part of the story, which wasn't as fun as the rest of it. It was funny, but it wasn't like laugh out loud funny. So yeah, I'd give it the episode of 7. Another really solid, good episode. You know, not a great episode or anything of that nature, but I laughed, and for that moment along with Dr. Cox, where you get to deep dive into his brain and what he actually thinks of himself. Interesting. But that's my reaction. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, head over to Patreon for the full uncut and edited reaction. You can get that for $1 over there on Patreon for this episode. If you want episodes early, all that stuff over there as well. Links are in the description if you want to. But I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to talk to you guys later. Peace.